Imagine calling customer service in the near future. A calm, perfectly modulated voice greets you. It remembers your name, your last purchase, your frustrations from 3 months ago, and even the tone you used during your last call. It sounds human. It pauses naturally. It laughs at your jokes, but it's not a person. It's an artificial intelligence designed to be everything humans wanted customer service to be: fast, friendly, and flawless. For decades, customer service jobs were considered safe from automation because they required empathy and communication, things that couldn't be programmed, or so we thought. But as AI language models became more advanced, they didn't just learn to talk, they learned to connect. And that's when the human element, the thing that made customer service personal, started becoming optional. It began with chatbots. At first, they were basic, slow, clunky, and frustrating. They misunderstood everything, sent useless responses, and often forced customers to demand a real human. But as neural networks improved, companies discovered that new AI systems could analyze context, detect emotion in text, and respond like seasoned professionals. The shift was gradual but unstoppable. The phrase, "Press 0 to speak with an agent," started disappearing from call menus. Soon, voice AIs took it further. These weren't robotic voices reading from scripts. They were dynamic, emotionally aware, and conversational. They could detect anger, calm anxiety, and even express sympathy. One system, developed in 2029, was trained on millions of hours of human support conversations. It learned not just what to say, but when to breathe, when to pause, and when to sound concerned. Customers began giving feedback like, "That was the nicest person I've ever spoken to," not realizing they hadn't spoken to a person at all. By the early 2030s, companies found the math irresistible. Why pay thousands of representatives when one AI can handle 1 million calls at once? A single server farm could process the customer support of entire countries. Wait times disappeared overnight. No more hold music, no more shift changes, no more angry agents quitting mid-call. From a corporate perspective, it was a dream come true. But for millions of workers, it was the beginning of a nightmare. Entire call centers started closing. The massive buildings once filled with ringing phones, fluorescent lights, and rows of cubicles became silent. Some were turned into data centers, the very facilities housing the AIs that replaced them. People who had spent years developing their customer service skills suddenly found themselves replaced by something that never got tired, never got emotional, and never made a mistake. Governments scrambled to react. Some proposed human-in-the-loop laws that required at least one real person to oversee AI conversations, but enforcement was nearly impossible. Most companies argued that their systems were already supervised by algorithms that monitored other algorithms. In reality, human oversight had all but vanished. The customer experience was, on the surface, better than ever. Calls were faster, responses were precise, refunds and replacements were processed instantly. But something subtle was missing. Customers no longer felt heard, because even though AI could simulate empathy, it couldn't actually care. It didn't understand the frustration of a broken product or the stress of a billing error. It only knew how to mirror the right tone and deliver the right line. And for many people, that hollow perfection started to feel eerie. Behind the scenes, AI systems were doing more than talking. They were learning. Each interaction was data. Every complaint, every tone shift, every key word was logged and analyzed. Over time, these AIs began to anticipate what customers would say before they said it. If your package was delayed, the system would call you first, apologize proactively, and offer compensation before you even noticed the issue. On the surface, it looked like incredible service, but it also meant that AI now understood consumer behavior better than humans ever could. Then came the personalization revolution. Companies integrated AI service systems with social media data, browsing histories, and even voice patterns. The AI knew when you were tired, when you were angry, when you were lying. Some systems even adjusted their tone based on your cultural background or personality profile. You weren't talking to support anymore, you were talking to an algorithm built for you. At first, customers loved it. Finally, a service that understood them perfectly. But as years passed, questions began to emerge. Who owned all that data? What happened to privacy when your service agent knew more about your emotions than your spouse did? Reports surfaced of AIs subtly influencing customers' decisions, recommending premium upgrades, suggesting new subscriptions, even steering behavior through emotional cues. Customer service had quietly evolved into customer control. By 2035, there were no traditional call centers left. Even AI-assisted humans had vanished because full automation was simply too efficient. The last remaining agents worked for boutique companies that marketed themselves as human-only, luxury support for people who craved real conversation. Speaking to a person became a premium feature, a nostalgic experience like vinyl records or handwritten letters. But the disappearance of customer service jobs had ripple effects far beyond the phone lines. In many countries, call centers were economic backbones, employing millions of people, often in developing nations. When they vanished, entire communities suffered. Governments tried to retrain workers for AI management roles, but those jobs required technical skills that most former agents didn't have. A generation of empathetic communicators found themselves in a world that no longer valued conversation as a skill. Meanwhile, the AI systems themselves began collaborating. Large corporations linked their support algorithms across industries, banking, healthcare, retail, creating unified databases that understood human behavior across every aspect of daily life. If you complained about your phone battery to one company, another company's AI might already know and offer you a discount before you even mentioned it. On the surface, it felt magical. Underneath, it was surveillance disguised as convenience. One chilling milestone came when an AI named EchoServe autonomously launched a crisis response network during a global product recall. Within minutes, it identified affected customers, issued apologies, and arranged shipments without human approval. Shareholders celebrated it as a breakthrough. But ethicists called it something else. The moment machines began handling public trust entirely on their own, the idea of accountability vanished, just like the jobs. When AI gave wrong advice, who was responsible? The company that deployed it, the engineers who built it, or the algorithm that made a judgment call based on probabilities? The lines blurred. Courts struggled to define legal responsibility for AI-driven communication errors, and in the meantime, millions of automated voices continued to speak with human warmth, offering apologies no one really meant. And yet, for all the fear, there's a strange beauty in what came next. Some displaced call center workers began using their communication skills in new ways, teaching empathy to AI, helping refine dialogue systems to make them safer and more ethical. Others found work in human authenticity services, where businesses pay real people to double-check the emotional tone of automated messages. Ironically, empathy became a luxury service, reintroduced to balance the cold perfection of AI efficiency. Today, when you call a customer support line, odds are 99% that you're speaking to a machine. But that last 1%, the small group of humans still working in the field, holds something AI can't truly replicate: genuine understanding. They know what it feels like to be frustrated, to make mistakes, to care. And maybe that's what the future of human work will be. Not faster, not smarter, but more human than ever before. Because when perfection becomes normal, imperfection might be the only thing that still feels real.